George, thank you very much for talking to us today.
You're welcome, Ruth, and a happy new year to
And same to you.
Viewers, etc.
George, what was the market like this week?
Yes, first sale of the year of 2016, 250 cattle on offer. Similar trade to before Christmas. The cull cows would be out in big numbers, and that's going to happen because what's happening is a lot of farmers are scanning cows. They scan not in calves, so therefore they're going to eat as much as the ones that are in calves, so it would be logical enough to get rid of them. And with the fact that the brucellosis test has been abolished is a helpful scenario. So more of those on offer, 80 on offer today. I suppose the bulk of those Frisians would sell from about 80 cent to about 170 per kilo for the real good one, but the bulk of them, I suppose you're talking about 110 to 140 per kilo, with the Continentals up to a high there of 190 per kilo, back to about 135. So, and they were very scarce, a lot of Frisians on offer. And in the bullock department, the quality cattle, once again, you're talking about a high there for the heavier cattle, up to 240 per kilo, back to about 180, with the lighter lots up to as high as 290 per kilo. So there's very little difference between this and before Christmas. And it's a supply and demand situation at the moment. Of course, a lot of marts aren't open as yet. They're opening next week, but we were one of the first to get going, and looking now if we attracted, as I said, 250 cattle, and the trade will be termed reasonable and steady.
Great. And George, can I ask, what is your opinion on the €4 minimum for a kilo of beef?
Well, put it this way, if people who have bought cattle last spring and summer and even early autumn have no chance of getting any money out of them in what's being offered by factories at the moment, they're sort of anything quotes from 385, 390 up to €4 per kilo. Definitely €4 per kilo would need to be attained by the farmer if he wants to make some sort of living out of the cattle industry. But the factories are the dictators, and what's happening in the factories at the moment is monopoly taking part, a monopolisation of the factory scenario, and that doesn't augur well for the future. Years back, you'd have the live trade, and I always said it was the live trade that kept the dead trade alive, you know what I mean, because that was a competitor there for cattle. But unfortunately that trade isn't really available at the moment, and you're dependent totally on the dead trade, which is the beef factories, and because of the fact that there's a big player there that manipulates prices, the farmers will suffer.
Okay, and George, what is your opinion on the fact that a lot of meat factories would own many feedlots?
Well, yeah, that's another. They're not going to be. They can dictate the supply and demand situation. They have a lot of cattle fed, etc. And as you know yourself, they have a ready supply of animals. So therefore, they don't necessarily want to go to Mart, because if they're operating around the ring in the Mart, they're monopolising the prices and maybe increasing the price, and they don't want to do that. So look at it, a free word, Ruth. You can't stop them from doing this, and I suppose we have to play with it. And all we can do is be as competitive as we can, and hopefully the fact that maybe some export trade will develop, be that in England or UK, hopefully with the fact that sterling is so strong against the euro, it might be a help.
Okay. George, do you think we're going to have an influx of calves this spring?
This spring, I would say, with the increase in the dairy herd, that would be quite possible. You're going to see what you're going to see as a fact that abolishment of quotas last year. You're going to see more calves coming on board, and I think you're going to see this year a lot of last year's cattle coming on board, which will be a lot of Frisians and a lot of Angus. And I feel also that this year will be the same, that a lot of calves will be coming out. A lot of the second-rate calves, specifically with Jersey blood, etc., will be impossible to sell. Those male animals, and some of the plainer Frisians influenced by a Holstein breed, would be difficult to get away also, and it'd be a matter of maybe just getting a market for them.
Okay. And can I ask your opinion on milk prices and debt repayments?
It's tough on farmers. A lot of people, of course, who were lucky enough, they did lock into a specific price and they held at that. But at that sum of money, people are suffering. And maybe, as you say yourself, a lot of farmers who have big repayments are the ones that will suffer most in the future and going forward. But it would appear, and looking at all fronts, that the price of milk won't increase any great monies in the near future.
And George, could you tell us a little bit about what is expected in the sales next week?
Yes, next Monday we have our sheep sale. That will be the 1st of 2016, and we have also a dairy sale in which we have a big entry. There's about 90 head on offer there. We have maiden heifers, we have in-calf cows and heifers, and calved Frisian cows and heifers. And on Thursday next we have a big suckler sale, and that sale will be kicking off at 1 p.m. plus our general cattle sale. So it's the sales will start building up in the next couple of weeks, and specifically the dairy, which we have concentrated on and we have developed throughout the years, and that has improved a lot. And we're blessed in Kilkenny. We have the presence of a Welshman who keeps the floor on the trade. So the dairymen will be quite happy with the returns.
Great. And finally, George, did you do anything exciting over the Christmas?
Unfortunately, Ruth, no, it was a boring Christmas. I was involved with the Lions Hamper Appeal, and at this venture, maybe anyone listening to this that did contribute and did help out, a very, very big thank you. We had a meeting last week, and we raised in excess of 30,000 for the less well-off in our community. And any surplus funds for that will go to special causes for the special people out there that are fundraising for specific causes. And on a personal level, on Christmas wise, now Ruth, unfortunately, I'm gone very old and very boring.
Oh, I don't know about that. Well, George, thank you very much for talking to us.
Ruth, thank you very much.